Home Impodcast time!
Well, that's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Jordan. What's up, Jordan?
What's up, Adam? It's Home Impodcast After Dark.
Oh, man. People just love when we talk about the time of day we're recording.
I was also going to say, man, it feels like fall, but I didn't want this to go off on a tangent.
Oh, man, I tell you, don't tempt me. Yeah.
Don't tempt you, don't tempt your cat.
Oh, man, don't tempt fate. Yeah, it's fall. You know, we can't really get into it because we just don't really have time. We have a lot of really cool things to talk about before the episode. Yeah,
so.
We're covering Advise and Repent today, but before that...
We're going to advise and repent ourselves.
Yeah, and we're going to do so by way of a weird website I found.
I wonder all the time about what you're searching on Twitter, what you're searching on the internet, because you send me the weirdest links of all time.
I know, yeah.
So can you tell me how you found this?
Honestly, don't really remember. Okay, I mean, I can try it. Okay, so maybe a month and a half ago at this point, I go through spurts where I'm like, we have to get more guests on the show. We have to get Zachary Ty Bryan. We need to get Patricia Richardson. We got to get Tim. And I'll just.
You're very bipolar in that way. You're up and you're down.
I always want them. It's just my effort varies. But probably about a month ago, I was just surfing the web, as people say. And I don't know,
1994.
Yeah, I was on the net, Netscape, and
you've got mail.
I don't know. I was trying to find JTT's agency or who represents him, or basically contact information, and I came across this website.
Boy, you found, I think, the official website.
Yeah, I think he's maintaining this himself. I think he's the moderator. It's violetprimrose128.tripod.com, and I guess the best way to describe this...
The tripod domain is very popular.
Okay,
so.
that is a popular thing.
No.
I was going to say never heard of it in my life, but you know more about those kind of things.
But I sold it pretty well.
Yeah. I guess the best way to describe this is a Jonathan Taylor Thomas fan site, would you say?
I would say okay. That's correct.
And yeah. It's out of, the Netscape kind of era that we just described. It's minimalist would be a generous way to describe it.
It's got word art letters that spin in circles.
Yeah.
And
what do those
it's
say?
Got
Tell people what they say.
Yep. It just says welcome with 6 exclamation points.
I was going to say how many exclamation points. Yeah.
Don't worry, I was going to include them.
And what's the picture to the left of that?
It's like
it looks like a pentagram, kind of.
It's like Doctor Strange. There's some stars. It's very psychedelic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's real cool.
It's cool. And so basically, this has a bunch of different facts. And you think okay, I'm listening.
Did
to
we say
podcast.
Who they're about?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I assume.
Yeah, we just got to talk about that.
Yeah, and you know what? You're listening to this podcast, and you're like, okay, I know about Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Do you?
I've been on his Wikipedia. I've been to IMDb. I know basically all the stuff there is to know about him. But I think this fan site's bringing some kind of new stuff to the table. And they're
including the P.O. box.
Oh yeah, we should write that guy a letter, just like we did episode 5, where I wrote somebody a letter and asked them for props from the show. Never heard back on that one.
Not yet. There's still time.
Not yet. It's only been 2 years. But yeah, we're getting a lot of facts in the form of short sentences with colons and such. But there's some interesting things here, and I thought we could just kind of work our way through and sort of talk about some of the more obscure ones. Jordan, how's that sound?
I can't think of a better way to spend my time on this night.
Okay, do it.
With you.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll let you kind of start off. What was the first fun fact that kind of
just
got your attention?
He's currently attending college. He hasn't been doing that for a while, but what is he? Let's see. His favorite meal kind of surprised me.
Right.
Tofu and wild rice.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it says Jonathan has been a vegetarian since the age of 4. So I guess that surprised me a little bit.
Yeah. Interesting. After that, so favorite meal is different than favorite foods. Favorite foods: pastas, artichokes, multiple artichokes.
Not one. You can never have one.
And Caesar and Greek salads.
It's like a Pringle.
His favorite drink: low-fat milk. Not unlike my father. No, he likes full fat.
He likes whole milk.
That's right.
Favorite fruits?
Yeah, honeydew and cantaloupe, of course.
He's a big melon fan. He's got a lot of favorite sports, including fly fishing. We saw that just a few episodes ago when he was fly fishing,
definitely.
So that makes sense.
That doesn't surprise me.
Now I know why they chose him to be the one who caught the fish that was supposedly fake.
100%. Favorite
100%.
music. The music choices kind of show when this was probably constructed. Boys to Men, Shy. Do you know Shy?
Shy Ronnie?
I don't think so. Silk, Billy Joel, guy after my own heart. DMB, Radiohead, Fiona Apple, Wallflowers, and Ben Folds 5. So, you got kind of a good mix there, I would say.
Yeah. This is probably not a shocker to anybody. One of his cats at the time, named Simba,
Yeah.
He played Simba, so I guess that makes sense.
Okay, so everything so far, you're like, well, pretty normal. You could find that in most places.
Could find these. But you know what you probably don't know?
What?
What's his favorite toothpaste?
Oh, is it Rembrandt?
It sure is. He's not a Colgate guy.
Hey, man.
Never has been.
When you're talking about hygiene, you think about toothpaste, but you also think a little bit about deodorant. Do you know what his favorite deodorant is? Because this site does. And it happens to be a Speed Stick.
I don't know how Violet Primrose 128 got this information, but
someone broke into his house. Skipping down past deodorant, Jordan. Favorite shampoo? I've never heard of this, but maybe you have. Kirkland.
He gets that. He gets that specially made from this Icelandic cave. They make it and send it to him. So that's why you've never heard of it.
All right. So moving down, if you're sufficiently creeped out, you are in good company.
One thing I did want to, we talked a little bit about fishing. Yeah. Just a fun fact. There's.
Yeah, go ahead. Just saw this.
There's no label for this, but
it doesn't even have a colon.
Oh no!
Do you want me to say it?
No. All right. Oh man.
You lost it. So we just kind of between favorite movie, which is Rocky, and first car, which was a black 1997 Toyota Land Charger. There's just a sentence that says he uses barbless hooks when he fishes because it's more of a challenge. And the funny thing is, we both do that as well.
We do. I'm crying.
He washes his face 4 times a day with Neutrogena, of course. He sometimes wears lip gloss during photo shoots.
I think we all do that.
Yeah. Favorite actors, De Niro and Hopkins. Favorite actresses, Jodie Foster and Glenn Close.
I can't believe he has 3 favorite colors.
Black, blue, doesn't that kind of just you like every color at that point?
Yeah, that seems excessive. Come on, man. Make a choice.
Wow. And then there's a bio at the end that's a big...
kind of regurgitation of all that information. And some other fun facts, but...
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, I think one of our favorite parts of this website
is that
they don't want to just you came here, you got all your JTT information. No, we want to give you more information, maybe links to some of the places that they got information. And they're just kind of labeled. I mean, there used to be pictures here, you can tell, but they've been, this site's probably 20 years old, so they're gone. Mm-hmm. And one of the good links says a very good Jonathan Taylor Thomas page with lots of fresh facts. Mm-hmm. So you can go there for more facts. But you can also go to this website that is a Jonathan Taylor Thomas site with lots of good pics.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to either one of those, but I am interested in Jonathan's official site where you can actually chat with him.
Oh, is it live? It's like you go onto Verizon's page and they pop up a chat window and he's like, "Hey, it's JTT.
Hey,
how's it going?"
Hey, go for Jonathan. I would love to click on these, but you know what? I'm
gonna hover.
I'm hovering and it says celebritysightings.com, which sounds okay, but I don't think I'm gonna click on it.
There's the next one is the official home improvement website, and it's morepower.com. That sounds right, but I'm just nervous.
I'm clicking on it.
Okay.
Updates no. They wanted me to download Flash, so no thanks. Not a real thing.
Violet Primrose just giving viruses.
That's
so
right.
in light of that, if you'd like to support us on patreon.com, we'll need a new computer for Adam, and we'll move from there. So yeah, just lots of good information. I guess we'll link to this
sure, just
on Twitter.
Just be careful.
Just be careful.
Yeah.
Again, like I said last time, if you get a virus, it's not our fault.
Yeah, definitely. That was enjoyable.
I didn't expect to cry during this episode.
I didn't think you would either, but yeah, I mean that's the Hone podcast. Expect the unexpected.
Lots of emotions. There's gonna be lots of emotions in this episode.
Yeah.
And that's Advise and Repent, episode 105, written by Rosalind Moore. Lasted one of your favorites, sisters and brothers, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, it was okay.
You Cal was there, so.
Alan Cal. I like that scene at the end where they're all fighting.
They're all in the room and that song's playing.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Aired on October 24th, 1995.
Oh, that means next week's going to be the Halloween one.
Gonna get spooky.
Mm-hmm. Were you able to reach out and get a hold of Dracula's management team?
I tried, and he didn't. He said he was going to get back to me. That's basically all right. You get the runaround. So
cool.
I guess we're going to have to wait till the next episode, the Halloween episode, and see if he comes on.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. He sometimes doesn't like to talk on the phone, so you should just try FaceTiming him because sometimes that's his preferred method.
Well, he's always one of those people who just gets face-to-face interaction. You feel more like a person. Yeah, you get to know people. It feels more intimate. He's all about intimacy. That Dracula,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Cool. Do you have any alternative titles?
1, 2, 3, 5. One of them I don't need to say. I'll say 4.
I think you have to say them all.
It's not fun. It's just like a quote from the episode, so it's not worth saying. 4 total.
All right, I've got 3, so you can go first.
Okay. So the title of the episode is Advise and Repent. I'll start with Big Black Boys with a Z.
The newest rap sensation.
Boys to Men, Big Black Boys.
How about Bert and Learning?
It's pretty good. Okay. Early Bert gets the dinner.
Oh! That one basically comes up later, right?
Yep.
All right. How about The Tortoise and Jill's Error?
See, I tried to do something with that. Could not. That's a good one. How about The Parent Trap?
Oh, that's a good one, too. I think we're on our game this week. I'm going to finish it off. Well, at least my list, because you got one more, right?
Yeah, one more.
The Student Becomes the Disaster.
That's good. You did well. My last one, Grade A Meddler.
She is a grade A meddler.
Yeah, for sure.
We've gotten that by now. All right, cool. One of our better showings, I would say.
Really? I don't feel that way at all.
Well, that's fine. All right, let's open at home.
Yes.
Jill, the grade A meddler, got an A on her psych test, and she's psyched about it.
She's feeling herself.
Yeah, she's stoked, and the boys are kind of using some of her old arguments against her. Mm-hmm. They're saying, like, I thought it wasn't about the grade, it's about your effort, and you're not supposed to compete with each other, all that kind of stuff. She says, that doesn't apply to me because I got an A and you all stink.
Yeah.
And Jill tries some psych jokes a few times in this episode. They don't land, and she says they would have killed in psych class, so this is like the first of maybe 3 that we get of that in the scene.
Tim follows up with, and yet here, death. Which is just he gets attached to it, and he says it quite a few times.
Attached is the right word. Randy, he comes into the scene, and he's hanging out with Michelle again, so it seems like they're going hot and heavy.
Yeah, see, I didn't know in the first scene whether or not it was Michelle from the dance party episode, and once I saw Bert, I was obviously it was a lot clearer what was happening, but I didn't remember Michelle's name necessarily.
No, I kind of was wondering who Michelle might be, but yeah, I was very shocked to see, we talk about some of the recurring guests that come on the show. Yeah. Bert was one I did not peg.
It's a shame you get Bert a second time, but you can't get, Isaiah Thomas or something again. I don't.
Even more of the Colonel or something, or Henry, I don't know, anybody, but yeah, Bert's here. Sure.
Yeah, well,
Bert doesn't have the worst showing in the world, but we'll get to him later.
Agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
I have some difficulty with it, but.
All right, that's the end of the scene, right?
Yeah, so, I'll pick it up. So
please,
I should say in the first scene, you're getting a lot of the boys in this episode. They're just kind of in and out. Like Mark, Brad, they're just kind of walking in and out of scenes. I don't know. It just felt it was noticeable how they were all 3 in it a fair amount, but without really anything to do, with the exception of Randy, who has some things to do, but nothing really interesting.
Brad has a great monologue where he just really spills his guts later.
Yeah, nothing comes of that, though. I guess maybe they're setting it up later.
They're setting that one up.
All right, so Randy and Michelle, they're hanging out on the couch, and Jill comes down, and she kind of just like embarrasses Randy. I don't know. Randy promptly decides that he and Michelle are going to go to the mall. We cut to the garage.
They walk to the mall, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the mall's really, really close. Like, you can almost see it out that side door. We cut to the garage, and Bert and Tim are working on... is it Tim's car or is it Bert's car? Probably Tim's, right?
I think it's Tim's. Yeah. I think Bert's helping with Tim's.
You remember Bert? He's the guy that likes to restore cars to Cherry. I mean, no disrespect to the actor, but I think this character is just awful. So yeah, they're working on the car. They're kind of talking. Tim is he mentions, I don't necessarily remember how it comes up, but how Jill. One of them mentions that the other spouse has difficulty when her parents come to town, and then Tim kind of takes that and runs with it. Meanwhile, Jill walks in doing laundry and kind of overhears them. But this prompts a discussion wherein, like, Jill sort of theorizes that Bert's wife, whose name appears to be Dana, she
appears to be. It's not her actual name.
I'm looking at IMDb. Suffers from something called individuation. Is that the correct term, Jordan?
Yeah, it sounds like she's a super daddy's girl or something like that. That's what it sounds like to me.
You saying daddy's girl, frankly. You have to edit that out. No, and Jill kind of takes it and runs with it, and Bert he's all too happy to hear and kind of hear her out, and she sort of becomes the pseudo, I guess, psychologist, therapist, and Bert walks out and joins her. In the by the refrigerator, there's a cookie, like, running cookie gag in this episode.
We didn't set that up, and we probably shouldn't.
I didn't even care to write down. Yeah.
Basically, Jill has used cookies to get her boys to spill their guts in the past,
right? And
they're just going to talk about that a lot this episode.
Definitely.
I guess that's the end of that scene. So, Bert's got something to talk about with his wife. At home later, Brad comes in. Mark's doing his homework. Brad's upset, and this is what we're talking about as they're setting something up. Brad's upset because he's now a nobody in high school. He was a somebody in middle school, but he's kind of been relegated.
He was BMOC, which of course stands for Big Man on Campus.
Of course.
Now that he's in high school, he's what you'd call a little fish in a big pond.
Yeah, poor guy. Mm-hmm. And there's some more of the cookie jokes between him and Mark, and then that's just kind of the end of that part. And then Dana arrives, right?
Yeah, what's the deal? Why is she picking him up? Like, do you think she dropped off her daughter and Bert to just, like, hang out, and then she took the car elsewhere? I was just confused as to why.
They're just a single car family, you know?
Am I being elitist? That's all. Am I being elitist when I
think you are.
That everybody has two cars?
I think you are.
Sorry, my bad.
You monster, man.
Yeah, sorry. Speaking of monsters, I hope we can get Dracula next week.
We'll probably find out by the end of this episode.
Yeah, I have a pretty good feeling.
Dana arrives to pick up Bert. Adam looks down on Dana and Bert.
No,
Jill lets her in the garage. They all meet. Shh, Adam, quiet.
Sorry.
In the garage, they all meet up, and it kind of comes up that they have to all go meet not all of them, but Dana and Bert need to go meet the in-laws. Mm-hmm. And Bert gets testy, like, right away, and Dana bites back, and Bert then throws around the psychological advice that he gets from
this
Jill.
Is Bert's fault. You don't air your dirty laundry in front of other people. Just wait till you get home. Like, this, he didn't need to immediately, like, launch into this in front of
I don't know what his angle is.
That's awkward. How do you think it's going to play out?
Yeah, it doesn't turn out well. Bert then learns, as, this awkward situation.
They both learn.
Everyone learns here that Jill is only a student.
Yeah.
And then all the advice, I guess, is thrown out the window. And things are not looking good for Bert, Dana, Jill. Tim, I think, is okay. He's kind of rather unscathed.
I like Tim's face as I
like Tim everywhere in this episode.
Yeah, he's pretty fun. Well, it is often fairly humorous when Tim is... Jill's in the wrong, and Tim is able to kind of revel in that. And his face as Jill reveals that she's in fact not licensed and a teacher is pretty funny. But
yeah, and when Tim's not in the spotlight too, he just kind of can make jokes at everyone else's expense and get away with it. So he does that quite a bit. But later on at home, there's a lot of home in this episode, which I guess is fine.
The funny thing is, Jordan, we're like halfway through the episode. We haven't even gotten to the turtle yet.
The turtle's just biding his time. Jill and Tim are arguing about how this conversation went. It's, obviously Tim says it went terribly.
He knows communication is a bad thing.
I think we all agree.
Yeah.
Randy comes back.
Yeah, he does, and when he does, he reports that Bert and Dana, they had it out in the mall in front of everybody, and it was pretty awkward.
I gotta say,
that's a scene I would have loved.
Yeah, Bert and Dana definitely, it sounds like they have some problems, and this is just like bringing it out,
Yeah, definitely.
It could be anything, but maybe it's good that they need to air their dirty laundry.
Being married to Bert wouldn't be any picnic. He spends all of his time in the garage restoring cars to Cherry.
He's got a GTO, baby.
Yeah, Tim could spot it.
Tim feels pretty vindicated by this news.
Tim is often quite vindicated in this episode. We head to the fence, Jordan, and I guess we'll play a clip.
Talk about some subversion.
This is literal, in that Wilson is fencing by the fence, and with that, let's go ahead and play a clip.
Fence, Rust, Perry.
Hey, Wilson.
Well, on guard, Taylorette.
I didn't know you fence.
Oh, Judith loves the sport, and I find that a little swordplay puts her in the mood to parry and thrust.
So, I guess you and Judith are still a hot item.
Oh, yes, indeed. I find the embers are still glowing. I've taken quite a fancy to your former psychology professor.
Oh, that is so good. I'm glad that I helped nurture one relationship because last night in the garage, I destroyed another one.
Oh, not Tim and Bird, I hope.
Oh, no, that relationship still has a new car smell. No, this is the relationship between Bert and his wife. I really need some advice.
Well, rattle my saber, good neighbor.
Okay. Oh, Judith, hi.
Hello, Jill.
I am so glad you're here. I need to talk to you.
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk to me.
Oh, that's okay, Wilson.
Oh, well, fine. I'll just go over here and thrust and parry by my lonesome.
So, Judith, last night I talked to a friend of Tim's, and in 5 minutes I may have ended a 20-year marriage.
What on earth did you say?
I just made the obvious assessment that his wife was in denial about her ability to individuate from her father.
And you came up with this diagnosis after meeting her for only 5 minutes?
Actually, at that point, I had never met her.
Jill, one of the first rules of psychology is first you meet, then you treat.
I know. I was just overzealous. But what do I do now?
Well, I'm reminded of the 5th century Indian book, the Pakatantra, which says the first mark of intelligence is not to start things.
So I shouldn't do anything.
But the Pakatantra goes on to say the second mark of intelligence is to pursue to the end what you have started.
Well, actually, Judith, I was just about to finish that quote.
So I should go and apologize to them.
I'm sorry, I thought you'd finished.
I was merely pausing for the effect.
The effect was, it seemed like you'd finished, dear.
Well, I hadn't, dear.
When couples bicker the way that you're doing right now, sometimes I find that it's useful for me to just say bye-bye.
Yeah, so Jill is outside.
Yeah. Yeah, she is, my man.
I can't say this is going to be effective, Adam. So whatever you're doing, stop it. Jill goes outside. Wilson and Judith are fencing not just with their.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to do what
Wilson
you're doing.
is fencing with Judith. They're standing by the fence.
Yeah, but they're also fencing with their words in this scene.
Definitely,
if you know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah, it's a verbal jousting, if you will.
Yeah, Wilson starts with some advice. Don't start things. Judith parries. Mm-hmm. Finish what you start, and then Wilson says, "Don't interrupt me." And then Wilson abruptly stabs Judith, and that's the end of Judith.
I was happy to see Judith back. I didn't necessarily know if she was still in the picture.
A lot of returning characters that we didn't know.
Well, that's because we just kicked Marie and Nancy to the curb last week.
Yeah, we got to get some more people. I've always said that, with every Judith comes a Bert, though.
Amen. You know what I noticed on the ground in Wilson's yard? I don't know if you saw it, but the sunlight caught it just perfectly, and there was a little bit of a shimmer, but it was Marie's locket. I want you to come and get it.
I don't know if you noticed all the flowers that said it was spring. It really just indicated it was spring.
October.
Sunflowers.
Yes, it is. What do you think of this fence scene? We used to we used to measure them with temperature. We won't do that, but do you like it? Is it funny? What do you think?
I do like it. I like that Wilson and Judith kind of like go back and forth and spar a little bit in between what
Just
they
a
have to
couple
say.
of intellectuals kind of having it out. That's all right.
And then Jill, finally realizes that she needs to shut up and get out of there before.
Yeah, because she's about to try to give them advice, and don't do that.
She hasn't quite learned her lesson.
You ever notice how the '90s kind of has a lot of like fencing in TV shows and movies? '80s too. You ever notice that?
Do you mean like fencing actual fences or fencing like the Olympic event?
Olympic event. Think about it.
I
really
didn't.
think about it.
All right, I'm thinking about it.
I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. Have you ever seen anybody fence in real life?
In the Olympics.
Okay, but real life, like you ever
like in person.
Yeah, you ever known anybody that fenced? You ever seen anybody do it in real life?
Can't say that I have.
Okay, but you've seen it on TV and like in movies and TV shows quite a bit, right?
Sure.
There's a disconnect there.
I don't know if I would say quite a bit, because I can only really
I've seen
think
it
of
a lot.
All right, so what are some of the other things that you've seen fencing on?
Okay, I think it's the first Teen Wolf where they're fencing and Chubb is fencing and he sticks his sword into someone's chocolate milk and it leaks and then he tastes some. Ringing a bell for you?
I gotta say, you could probably make up a bunch of different... Like, you could say there's some fencing in Airplane or some fencing in all these movies I haven't seen.
I think they also fence in...
Do they fence in Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Definitely fencing in that.
But, that one makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Can we talk about Robin Hood Men in Tights? I mean, it had Dave Chappelle in it, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's like Home Improvement. Did you know
Tangentially
Home
related.
Improvement had... Do you remember that episode with Dave Chappelle and Jim Brewer? Good one. It's like the Chris Farley show with Paul McCartney. Hey, do you remember when you were on the Beatles? That was awesome. Yeah, I also think maybe they do some fencing in... I actually think they do some fencing in The Parent Trap.
Oh, I think you're right.
And I think they also fence in... Oh, man.
Now we're just getting down into it.
There's one more I need to say, and I think it's Urban Legends, the horror movie from the 90s. I'm pretty sure there's a fencing scene in that.
Do you think there's kind of a fence conspiracy?
Why would you say that? You mean the disconnect between fencing and movies and TV shows?
Yeah.
I think it's worth... I'll tell you what I think is actually happening. I think people making movies and TV shows are wealthy, so they've been exposed to fencing, which I perceive as being kind of a, I don't know, upper class sort of pastime. Whereas the rest
You're
of us...
just saying that
really
to try
fence.
to put yourself in better light after you did the two-car
I'm trying to save face. Yeah, I'm trying to make myself, put myself on an even keel with the lower middle.
You are the 1%, Adam.
Oh man, if that were true, I surely wouldn't be here. All right, next scene.
Tool time on location, baby.
Yeah.
This is the project house. I think I noticed right away that
it's the old Bewitched exterior.
Benny's old place, or Benny's relative's place, or whatever it was.
I don't think so.
Isn't that what they did with Benny?
It's a different one.
For some reason, I thought this was the same house where Benny was like being lazy that whole episode.
Nope. Sorry.
All right.
You're wrong.
Al brings his mom's turtle to the set. I guess he's babysitting.
Yeah.
Or baby turtle sitting. I don't know what you would call it. He's worried about the turtle. The turtle is named Scooter. And Tim is, he's not paying attention. He's like, seriously, we got a show to do. And on the show, they just start, and they move Scooter out of the way so he doesn't quite get face time.
In a very precarious position. They couldn't put him, they put him like on a board that you just know the board's going to get hit like a seesaw and do that whole thing, but... Yeah, whatever, I guess.
But, that's what Tim wanted to do in the moment. They're going to lay a brick walkway, and they got to lay the cement first. So the cement behind them is very wet, and Tim is using a tool that obviously has too much power for him. Things go off the haywire.
Off the haywire?
Sorry, they go haywire.
Is this like, what did you say recently? You had a saying that I'd never...
I mean, if we stopped for every single time that I said something that didn't make sense...
it was really funny though. Oh, whatever. It was our last episode.
I think it was empathize.
No, it was like a... Nah, don't worry about it. I'll find it. But...
All right. So yeah, Tim, loses control. that flip board thing that you talked about just a moment ago. It happens, and Scooter goes flying into the wet cement. Tim tries to dive and save Scooter, but he fails.
No, Al dives.
Somebody fails.
Did you watch this episode?
I very quickly.
Yeah. This whole when the turtle flies up in the air, it's like a Beverly Hills Ninja.
Use his name. It's Scooter.
Sorry, say his name. You will say his name. No, when the turtle Scooter is flying through the air, it's like Beverly Hills Ninja in the kind of sound effect. It's pretty bad.
That's 2 more Chris Farley references than I thought we'd get in this episode.
Yeah. This is they must have had difficulty like filling the episode with the plot lines or something, because this just like comes up. We're like 15 minutes into a 22-minute episode, and all of a sudden we're at tool time and Al's got a turtle and this happens. It's filler, and it's quite silly.
I don't mind silly.
Okay, but it's not funny. You think it's funny? Do you think it's funny?
I will wait till the end,
okay,
I guess.
All
right. What do we have to do with Scooter?
It sucked. No.
It's a wonder that we get anyone on our show.
I reach out to Scooter's handlers, but I had to settle for Patricia Richardson. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry.
So we're at the vet, and this is the convenience of all conveniences. Tim and Al show up. Scooter's fine. Tim's foot's got cement on it. Get some jokes about that. But it happens to just happens to be Dana's practice. And Dana walks out, and this is probably the funniest thing in the episode. But Bert is there, and they're like fighting in front of all of her patients. Well, not patients, but like she's fighting in front of all the people that are in there.
So let's think about what Bert and Dana have been doing since the mall fight.
Yeah,
has like Bert been sleeping on a couch somewhere, or has he been like following behind her the whole time?
She was like, "You're not staying at this house," so he's like, "Fine, I'll just stay at your practice." And he's like sleeping there. So when she gets in,
and then he just woke up and Dana was working. So he's like, "Hey, we need to talk again."
But it's just like so bizarre. They're just openly like he's just like they're just fighting in front of all these animals and stuff, and it's just not professional.
Animals.
You would not take your rabbits to this vet.
Absolutely not. I will take that stand right now.
Mm-hmm.
No rabbits at Dana's practice. Tim and Bert. I mean, Bert sees Tim and he's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Again, he's not really worried about the argument anymore. He's like, Tim's like, I thought I saw your GTO, and they start talking cars again. And Al screams that there's a turtle problem and we need to focus. And I was kind of hoping that they would resist this urge, but you knew they were going to get a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle joke in there.
I know, it was bad, and it was so bad the audience didn't even really laugh, which is
they didn't respond.
Tough. Yeah, I didn't necessarily know that they would, but I wish they would. You see a
turtle? Did you ever watch any of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies?
Yeah,
like the live action ones.
Yeah,
I don't remember. There were a few, right? There was like 3. I remember the one where they went to like ancient Japan. They got in a time machine or something.
But that's tasteful.
I would like to watch it again to see.
I actually watched the second one because How Did This Get Made? They did one on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. I think it's The Secret of the Ooze or something. I watched that probably within the last couple of years, and it was kind of fun. Vanilla Ice is in it. It was a good time.
They've made a comeback.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now Michael Bay does them. I've not seen those.
No, that's not going to be something
we
cover.
Will Arnett is in it. Yeah, I missed that one. But I like the Turtles. All right. Is Shredder the Rat?
Shredder's the Rat. There was a video game
for me.
A little bit.
Yeah.
For Nintendo that I love to play.
Oh man.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, baby. And they also had a cartoon, I believe, that I liked. Anyways, Jill arrives because this is just kind of the place to go.
I was waiting for Brad, Randy, and Mark to show up, too. I mean, everybody's there.
How does Jill know where Dana works?
The Yellow Pages.
Ah, that's right. All right, so Jill arrives. Is it called Dana's Practice at the Yellow Pages?
Private Practice.
The Practice, the TV show?
Yeah, right.
All right, Jill does make, I think, a funny joke here where she sees Tim sitting there. She says, "Do you come here when the ER is full?" I thought that was clever.
I missed that one.
Oh.
It's not bad. I think it's not bad.
It's not bad. Compared to, like, the cookie jokes and stuff, that's, like... above average, I would say.
It's not, and that's not to say that this isn't a funny episode, because I did laugh mostly at Tim's lines in this one. But there are some laughs to be had.
I had fun. All right.
I mean, that's the highest praise, isn't it?
Jill apologizes to the
Dana
couple here.
And Bert.
Yep, and offers Judith services. I presume Judith.
Yeah, it wasn't. Didn't really say it, but you gotta assume.
But she does say, they're kind of into that. They think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Which I guess I don't know. I'm shocked by that.
Well, until they find out that it's Judith and she taught Jill, and they're like, "No, we don't want your."
Yeah,
teacher.
they rip up the business card, but
yeah.
Man, this like whole conversation has really turned into a big fight for their marriage. So I guess it's a good thing that they're interested in looking at therapy.
It's weird because they, you got to figure that, they must have been not on the strongest of foundations, because this fight about in-laws is enough to presumably maybe tear them apart forever. And it's I guess all fights are can be perceived as being serious, but like if you're getting divorced because of the relationship with in-laws when they come to visit like once a year, like you probably don't have that good of a marriage. My opinion.
I don't know. I guess you're right.
I mean, you have kind of a unique perspective with in-laws. So maybe you would care to talk on that.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I think you're right, Adam. I think you're right.
All right. Cool.
Really great wisdom found on the other half of this podcast.
Bits of wisdom. Is that the end of that scene?
That's the end of the vet.
All right.
At home.
Take it.
Tim is cleaning his boot off. Randy comes home
and
talks about... He basically is talking about how this whole fight and what Jill did has really affected him and how it was so negative. And he's kind of sour on his mom right now.
He says, why is she always opening her big mouth? And Kirsten was in the other room and she went, oh! She was like, yes. She couldn't believe he said it. And you know what? It was rude.
It was rude. Tim comes to his wife's defense.
Kind of out of left field, too. Like, what are you so mad about, Randy?
Ruining his relationship with Michelle.
I mean, geez. Michelle. Don't even get me started on her.
All right, let's get started on Michelle.
I mean, just that the scene with the dance floor and her slipping is just kind of forever ingrained in my memory. She's fine, but it's just that
you're mad that she can't dance.
That's a nice meet cute, as they say. But no, go ahead. I don't have much to say. I just found Randy's I don't know, just his anger towards his mother for meddling just to be a little bit odd, and for him to say something like that was a bit weird. But Tim,
Randy doesn't get love all that often, So
I know he thinks he doesn't, but he's always got his Rembrandt toothpaste to go back to.
That's true. We can't argue about that. That's for sure.
Tim eventually, he talks to Randy about the importance of communication. You could perhaps suggest that he is kind of deep down he sees the value of it. Jill comes in and she's got her own problems, and the teacher becomes the student, as you might have said, because Randy and Tim are going to kind of hear her out, and she's going to talk about her problems, and that's how the scene ends.
Yeah, Tim says you should think about a refund. Well, she's really, at this point, before we ended the scene, she comes home like really doubting the fact that she has made this career choice. And Tim's response is basically like, you should think about a refund policy, but stay at it. So
for sure, yeah.
The usual like genuine with a little bit of joke on it. That's what Tim does. So on Tool Time, last scene, right?
It's a good way to bookend the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all hadn't had enough of Scooter yet.
I mean, you are, as the kids say, kind of a stan for Scooter. You're a big fan.
Do they say that?
Yeah, you never heard that?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not a cool guy though. I don't hear what the cool kids are doing anymore.
Yeah, no.
I'm more of a rude dude.
Yeah. Yeah, you are, Jordan. Go ahead.
All right. So Al is thanking the crowd for all the support of Scooter. And they've got a surprise because Scooter is fully recovered and he comes out and the crowd goes wild. And then Scooter gets the highest revenge by biting Tim.
Yep.
So that's how it ends.
Roll credits fade to black. We are talking Advise and Repent.
We are talking.
AKA Scooter's Revenge?
Yeah, that should have been the title.
Jordan Highs and Lows. I think you like this one.
Hey, that's not what the segment's called anymore.
Jordan, a nickel for your thoughts. I think you like this one.
I kind of like it. I mean, it is silly. I will say that. It's a pretty silly episode, but I like how a lot of times there's just like A, B, and C plots, and they're just kind of really interdependent, and they don't really have anything to do with each other. Mm-hmm. And this one, even though they're super flimsy, like the turtle,
Yeah, I'd say.
And Randy and Michelle, and then you got Bert in the car, and then the fighting and Jill. It's all tied together in
in a really satisfying way.
Super satisfying. I mean, if you can find a scene that's more satisfying than that vet scene, well, then you can have the show to yourself. So, I don't know.
So you liked it? I mean, what'd you like about it?
No, I did like. I like. We talked about this before when I think it was when Al was getting all that attention and Tim is kind of off on the side making his jokes. Mm-hmm. Tim does play that role to a lesser extent in this episode, so he does say some funny lines. We do get Judith back, and there's some funny interplay between her and Wilson, so I enjoyed that as well. So those are some good moments. Lows. I mean, what is Scooter really doing there besides getting them to the vet's office? I don't know. This whole fighting between Bert and Dana, it's seems a bit extreme and a bit of a blow up that kind of is unnecessary. But if you're getting Jill involved in this way, I guess that's kind of what you have to do. So I don't know. It's not the worst episode. I didn't mind watching it twice. There are laughs to be had, as you said. What else do you want?
Nothing.
A nickel for your thoughts, Adam.
Jordan, I don't mind the episode. I think the turtle stuff is just kind of bad, though. The turtle just comes in about 14, 15 minutes in. Doesn't really...
You wanted Scooter from minute one.
I mean, it's just like so weird how like you're almost done with this episode and there's like, oh yeah, Al's got a turtle, look out. It's just weird.
Al's got a turtle, look out.
It's like, wonder what's going to happen to this turtle at the job site.
At least they don't mention the turtle and then not show it like they do with the hamster.
I guess. No, Tim is good in this episode. He's funny. I like him being, maybe being in the right as opposed to when he's in the wrong and Jill's in the right. I kind of like that dynamic. It's nice to see that every once in a while. Fence segment works. Good to see Judith. I just don't really like the actor that plays Bert a ton. I'll say I don't like his performance in this. I just have a little bit of an issue with the character. Find it to be a bit phony, maybe. So that's kind of a roadblock for me, as this is an episode kind of largely built around him. I would say it's pretty average for me. I didn't mind watching it. And like you said, there are some laughs to be had, and it certainly wasn't painful by any means. So it's fine.
All right. I guess a non-painful episode.
Yeah, for sure.
I think sometimes you see like the little blurbs that are on movie posters and stuff. Yeah. Maybe we should put that on there. A non-painful episode.
Yeah, it wasn't painful. It was all right. Yeah, transitioning social media, Jordan.
Is that how we talk about transitioning now? We just say the word?
When you want to transition, you just kind of say transition, and I think that's the heavy lifting is done.
All right, well, let's go to Sean's social media corner. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can go to thehomeandpodcast.com. You can contact us on Twitter at homeandpodcast, on Facebook at facebook.com/homeandpodcast. If you'd like to support the show, help us to keep the lights on, so they say, you can go to patreon.com/homeandpodcast and support us for as little as $1 a month. Coming up in October, we're going to be covering the return of Last Man Standing, so that'll be the bonus episode that you get if you give us $5 or more a month. If you do less than that, you still get options like the Wall of Fame, outtakes, bonus extras, all that kind of stuff. So, if you'd like to support us without giving us money, we'd like that too. Go to iTunes, give us a review, 5 stars, write something nice so we can read it on the air, something like that. We'd love that too. Adam?
Yeah.
Are you awake?
Yeah. What's up?
All right. What's going on Twitter?
Oh, yeah, I just wondered. I didn't know what you wanted. Poll this week. Have you ever had a surprise birthday thrown for you? 12 total votes. 58% no. 42% said yes. I guess that's not surprising. The big, Twitter Pretty hot this week.
Super hot.
We posted
Scalding.
the quiz that we took on last week's episode, and a lot of people took that, and they shared the results, and that was quite fun. I think we saw kind of the gamut of characters represented, and
was there any like the biggest that people got? Like, was there a lot of Jills? Was there a lot of Als?
I'm scrolling through. I see a Jill. I see a Wilson. I see a Brad.
Sounds like we've got a varied audience.
I see a Tim. I see another Jill. Looks like Jill was a pretty popular one. Jill and Brad. Maybe we're no Mark, no Randy. So
what a shame.
It's a shame.
Maybe they're just staying hidden.
I think you got Mark and you lied about it. You're like,
why would I do such a thing?
I got Al. I definitely didn't get Mark. Other than
and
that,
then I made up that little blurb that you said was
usually you
pretty
don't think so quickly on your feet, but that was pretty good. Otherwise, not so much going on. Maybe you will have heard the Patricia Richardson interview by now, maybe not. So
we'll keep you guessing on that. We should say too, we had a fan. I mean, that as I told you, I texted you. I was just so shocked at the interaction that we got about that quiz. We had a fan that was so excited about that quiz that they wanted to make it much more in depth. Mm-hmm. And so Sarah wrote into us and made her own quiz. And I think we'll post it on Twitter. So if anybody's interested in taking a more in-depth quiz, it's almost like more like an astrology thing. I don't know. But
it's like the thing that the girls used to do in grade school, where you got like, you know what I'm talking about? It's not like, is it a cootie catcher? Is there anything else?
Yeah, cootie catcher. I think that's what it's called.
Kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, a little bit. So we'll post a link to that. Thanks, Sarah, for doing all the legwork there. With that.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say before we transition,
don't transition.
Follow us on Twitter at the Home and Podcast, or is it just at Home and Podcast? You
don't even know our Twitter handle. I already said it, so don't worry about it.
Well, I just wanted to add on that, during these times, following us on Twitter is kind of important. So just keep that in mind.
I don't know what that means really, but I agree wholeheartedly.
It's important right now.
It's a very veiled.
Just make
statement.
sure you follow us on Twitter, okay? Because
do you have something special coming down the pipeline that you haven't shared with me yet?
No, I mean just make sure you're following us on Twitter, okay? Because you never know what's going to happen. So
yeah, it's true. That is true. You never know.
You got a question for me, Jordan?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Adam, I've kind of got a few questions of the week, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've been inspired by our opening banter when we were kind of going through and getting JTT's vital information, favorite fruits, sports, music, all that stuff.
You call that inspiration, do you?
I call it inspiration. I would say, as much as people want to know JTT's favorite, I don't know, toothpaste?
Deodorant, yeah.
They probably want to know your favorite deodorant, toothpaste, all that stuff. So I thought I would just go down, maybe ask some questions.
Was this a speed round?
Speed round, baby. Speed round. This is a real speed round, too. We're going to do it by actual name. So Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
You're going to stop me if you... Am I just going to say things and move on after?
I mean, if you want to elaborate,
I doubt I will. Go ahead.
Okay. First car.
Pontiac Bonneville, white, late 80s. I don't remember the year.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Graduate.
Favorite vacay spot?
Favorite vacay spot? I don't know. I can only think of trips and I mean, I don't really know if I have a favorite vacay spot. I'll tell you, I really like Washington, D.C. as a city. I had a real nice trip to Los Angeles one time. Yeah.
Real nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
Yeah.
Favorite deodorant?
I think I use Old Spice. I don't know.
You're not
sure?
I
don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Old Spice.
All right. Favorite fruits? I know you love fruit.
Yeah. Favorite fruits? Interesting. I eat a lot of banana. I don't know that I like bananas a lot, but it can't be.
They just end up in your mouth one way or another.
Convenience of it all. I have sensitive teeth, so I can't do much with the apples currently. I like blackberries. I don't like strawberries as much as a lot of people. So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Not even. Do you put a little sugar on your fruit?
No, why would you eat fruit if you want to make it not healthy? Just like eat something sugary.
Sometimes, you'll have strawberries that aren't quite sweet, but you don't want to throw them out.
Why don't you just eat a Snickers as you go for a run,
Sounds like you need one right now. You sound kind of angry.
Next.
Favorite actor or actress?
Oof. Oh, man. I don't know. Too hard. Pass. Too many. I don't know. I like a lot of them. Yeah.
All right. Last one.
Oh, man. Make it a good one.
What's your shoe size?
13. What's yours, 6?
Is that what you thought I'd end on?
I don't know. Do you answer them or no?
I can if you want.
Yeah, go quick.
I don't remember which ones I did.
I'll just say them. Favorite first car?
1994 red Pontiac Grand Prix.
Shoe size?
9.
Favorite movie?
Ooh. Casablanca?
Is that Mickey Mouse in that one? Favorite vacation?
Favorite vacation spot, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I guess I'd say Disney World.
Deodorant?
Much like you, I'm not sure.
Yeah, isn't it funny how I just don't really know. I use it every day,
it's
but
like
I don't really know.
I think it's like Dove's something, Dove Men something. I don't know.
Cool. Hey, what are we covering next week?
Next week, we are going to be covering Let Them Eat Cake.
And this is a Halloween episode.
There's going to be cake involved.
Tool time is up for no. Oh, so this is going to be good. I can't wait.
The thing that we all have been wondering and waiting on until the end of this episode, do you think we'll get Dracula?
Yeah, I'm actually just getting a phone call, so is it okay?
Yeah,
I know.
Go ahead. Can you put it on, like, 3-way call?
Yeah, I know it's a little bit. No, I can't do that, but I can just, if you can edit this out. Hello? Okay, yeah. Okay. That's kind of a weird request. I don't think we have 1,000 virgins necessarily, but perhaps there's some wiggle room.
2?
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Yeah, I just heard Drac is available next week, so he'll be on the air.
Wow. How many virgins did you get him down to?
I don't even want to replay. I don't want to do that joke anymore. I don't know if it's in great taste, but
it's not.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's great news.
Yeah,
that
fantastic.
Is great news.
I don't know how much time we have, but yeah.
All right. Well, that's all that matters. So, all right. With that, I guess we're done here. Adam, you want to take us out?
Thank you for listening. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Next week we let them eat cake. We get a little bit spooky, but until then, take care.
Take care, everybody.